happy Tuesday as we march through September. It's gonna be a fun conversation today. What does it mean to build true wealth? What is true wealth? So we'll talk about that when we bring up Dr. Berger. But to start with, as always, check in on those around you. Check in on those who they've been through something in the past week, the past month, the past year, couple of years, because too often we go through these periods of life. We have medical, it can be family related, job related issues come up, and they knock us back. They knock us backwards. Um, So it's always good to check in, because sometimes that check in to see how somebody's doing, even though they have a smile, because we're all good at putting masks on. And so we basically walk out the door after some sort of trauma and try to keep that mask on, because that's what society wants to see, happy people, which isn't always the case. So check in, make sure they're doing well. And if they say fine, dig deeper, because fine is feelings inward, not expressed. That's how Agape put it. That's the way I love to say it, because it's true. Think about walking through the cash register, and the cashier's like, how you doing? And you say fine, and that's the end of the conversation. Fine is a conversation killer, really. So check on them, see how they're doing, because sometimes too, asking how somebody's doing, even when it looks like they're doing fine, that could make a huge difference in their life. So please check in on them. When I talk about my sponsors, I always start with my dear sis, Dr. Constance Leland, with Level Up Academy, the Netflix of education, the queen of publicity. And I think she and I came up with a few more. I came up with a few more. I'm going to have to write these down. Keep forgetting. When you are looking to move to the next level, you feel like you're stuck, or you've got a new product, you've got something you want to do, because she has access to press releases. She's got access to all these industries to put out a press release. Check on her, connect with her, DM her, whatever you've got going on, because she's also got this ability. When you start telling her what you're looking to do, what it is that you're ready to do, or you think you're ready to do, walk through it. She's got this ability to see if you really are ready or not. And if you're not ready, then she'll give you the guidance to make sure that when you put that press release out, when you make that announcement, when you do whatever it is that you're going to do, that it is able to go out with the maximum benefit, the maximum effect. She's got a podcast. She's got live stream. TV is going to come back. She had radio, and I suspect that will come back at some point. We've both been going through a lot right now, and so it's kind of slowed us down a little bit. Yet this stuff is going to come back, and it's going to be, this is one person that, if you need to talk to somebody, if you're ready to do something, talk with CJ before you do it, because she wants to make sure that she sets you up for success. It's just like she and I are both teachers. We're both professors, and we want to set our students up for success. We want to set up those that we work with for success. And her live streams, she'll be on tomorrow morning at this same time on Wednesdays. And then the two of us are usually on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time doing, it's been Unmute by Design is what we've been talking about of late. And it's an amazing series all by itself. When I look at the Hounds of Business and I think about Mike Ashenbrainer, I think about collaboration over competition. Here's a group that this is exactly how it is. I've seen people that you would think, oh, they're doing the same thing. How can they work together? Well, they do work together because, one, they get along. Two, they complement each other. Yes, they may be doing something that's similar or even the same, but they're different people. In a world of 8 billion people, everybody's got a different person they're going to connect with. They're not going to connect with everybody. When you do projects together, when you collaborate, one, it reduces the stress and anxiety because you're not doing it alone. You've got somebody to bounce ideas off of. You've got somebody to learn from. You're going to learn from each other when you collaborate. This is what happens with the Hounds of Business. So check out the Hounds, see what they're doing. Contact Mike Ashebrander for more information. There's always meetings going on to give more information about the Hounds, and then once you're in, meetings to get to know each other, because there's so much to do with the Hounds of Business. And my dear sis Danielle with C&M Consulting, she's an HR guru. And not only that, not only does she know everything about HR, she's very empathetic. Here's somebody who, when working with a company, looking at the HR, she wants to be there to help create a space of belonging where everybody feels comfortable. She understands the rules, and when it comes to HR, there's a lot of rules that you got to make sure you follow. You got to do it right. Check out Danielle with C&M Consulting. I always throw in my dear sis with Bella Grace because I've been using this too. I just got done with 10 days of the elixir where I got to try it. And I know it made some differences. I've heard other people who they had aches and pains, and really quick that they went away within days. They were noticing it was better with the elixir. And now what I'm anxious for is Bella Melt, which is going to be coming out soon. CJ tried it. Divinely Deborah tried it. They tested it, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I'm anxious for it for myself, as it better than the shots for weight loss. And then we're looking for your help on our dear niece. CJ set this up. Elise went through. She had just graduated to kindergarten, basically, and within a week she was in the ICU because she had Kawasaki disease, and it threw life for my dear sis Danielle and her family upside down because of it. She's immunocompromised, and now we're getting news that things are better, and there's been blessings all over, and we look at it as because of those who donated, those who prayed, those who shared. It takes everybody to make this work. And when we hit these medical emergencies, yes, they can be costly. They can be very hard to deal with. So if you want more information on it, you can reach out to me, reach out to Danielle, reach out to CJ, scan the QR code for more information in terms of the GoFundMe that was set up. And if you can give something, great. If you can do prayers or just help spread the word, that's awesome too. And I know Danielle is very much focused on trying to find ways to help kids. This has actually changed some stuff for the kids and her whole family, to where they're now looking at ways to help kids who are in the hospital, who are having these kind of issues, and what can they do to try and make that time better based on what they went through with Elise. So it's like, yeah, sometimes these things, they happen, and we're just kind of like, oh crap. But at the same time, some things come out of it. This, like, it opens up new doors. And right now, it's just, kids need to be kids. They need to be able to be themselves. And that's what we're looking for. So that's all of that. Let's see who's here real quick. Hey, Leanna. And CJ mentioned this, I think, last time too. It's like, at some point we need to get you into one of our books as well, because we wrote together in another anthology, and it was great. Welcome, Sharon. It's great to see you. And for today's show, I'm just going to go straight to Dr. Berger. and just say, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. Thanks, Susanna Dawn, for asking me to be on your show and share your stage. Truly humbled today. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad to have you on. It's like, and when I talk about the hounds, it's like we finally really connected in
Right.
more recent conversations, because like we've known each other, we've made comments on each other's posts, but
Exactly.
never really had that conversation until during one of those outbreak sessions because CJ ran it. So I mean, uh, I can't stop talking about CJ either. But it was great, and getting to learn about what each other's doing. That's great. But
Absolutely.
I'd love to start off, just briefly getting an idea of um, how you got into what you're doing now, because you talked about how you basically left your own box in terms of corporate like a decade ago.
Absolutely. Yes, it
What
was.
happened to get you out and get you doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, no, it's actually a decade last month. So very, very excited. And I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, being in that box of conformity and being dictated what I can do and what I can't do. And for me, it's all about the circumventing the system. We live in a world of corrupt and broken systems, and they're trying to put us in that box and keep us in the box. And I was done. I was over it, and so I needed to go out and really explore who I was. And from with that journey in the first couple of years, it was an eye-opening experience, if you will. I did develop some medical problems. Well, I should say this: I had medical problems, but they increased. And in 2018, my doctor wanted to put me onto a sixth medication, and because I was having problems with the other five, and that's when I said, "Nah, no, this is not going to work for me." So that's when I started to explore holistic options. Long story short, 9 months later, I came off of all of the medications, which she told me I had to be on meds for the rest of my life, and reduced stress, anxiety, depression that was at a 10 plus for decades down to a level 1. It reversed my type 2 diabetes, and I've been pharmaceutical free since August of 2019. So that was the beginning of my journey. And that's when I created Abundance and Optimum Wellness, because I believe we all should be living a life of abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. So during that time, I became a certified holistic coach, really focusing on gut health because everything starts in the gut. Every single one of my students for 5 years, the number one complaint for them was finances. And people were working paycheck to paycheck. They were working one, two, three jobs, and they were not making ends meet. And so I got it. I mean, I suffered some very severe financial devastation between 9/11 and 2008 myself with the real estate crash, losing over 900,000 in my portfolio. Then in 2020, 2021, my 401ks were turning into 101ks, and one actually flatlined. So that was the next turning point for me, leaving corporate America's box, and then moving, shifting over to that financial aspect, because so many people were having financial difficulties, and I jumped out of that box to explore other options in the blockchain technology sphere, if you will. And since 2022, I've been out there really sharing and educating people about the technologies of today that are changing, that have already started to change the world, and it will be impactful in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. Taking a very low six-figure portfolio, pulling it out of um, the corrupt systems, if you will, centralized systems, now diversified into the decentralized, having more control, building that to a high seven, soon to be eight-figure portfolio. So that's where I am today, and that's what I'm excited about, is really getting out there and educating, because about 94% of the world don't know anything about blockchain technologies, and
Right.
many of them say to me today, "What's blockchain?" Well, it's been around since 2009, and I'll just share one last story, and then we'll move on. But what really got me to thinking about this whole paradigm shift for me, because I was in a box, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I'm struggling. But in 2009, as an ex-software engineer of 27 years, I was approached with the opportunity of purchasing 500 Bitcoin at 0.0017 cents. That's an 85-cent investment. My response back then, nah, sounds like a scam. Look where it is today. So we have really catapulted into industries that were never there. They're there today, and I really just share with people that I talk to. Think about decades ago when Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon introduced their technologies. Really revelational. Yeah, I think that's a word, revelational. That's
Yeah.
where we are today. We're in the blockchain technologies that are changing a massive paradigm shift moving forward. So that's where it came from that to where I am today, and I'm very very excited to being a catalyst to educating people to get out of their box, move beyond their boxes, because they're put in and say told to stay there, listen to what we say, what we do.
And that's what this world's full of, because
Yeah,
it's I've dealt with it my whole life, being told basically who and what I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do, and
right,
always trying to find the ways to buck the system. But it was hard. It took me a half century before I finally broke
right.
broke that box myself. And then you just look around and there's so much going on. And I started learning a bit about blockchain maybe about 10 years ago, 10,
Mhm.
10 or 12 years ago, but I still didn't understand it at that time. It's not, I think for a lot of us, it's like, okay, we know there's this term, we know it's kind of technical something, but um,
Well, it's very simple. I'll share this with your audience. We were in the WWW world, so the internet, and in those systems, there was corruption. People could manipulate the numbers, manipulate the data in that technology. Now we move to blockchain. Blockchain is a more secure technology. It's basically almost impenetrable. You cannot make changes to the blockchain. When something is designated and put onto the blockchain, it's there forever. All right. And when it comes to, different things, you go through the process of making certain changes, but only the person who put that there can make the change. Nobody else can. So there's integrity, there's transparency, especially with corporations who are manipulating their data, along with other people as well. And more security is coming. And it has a lot more to offer with developing technologies that will take us and catapult us, because technologies are changing exponentially,
right.
much faster. I mean, I can't believe how far we are today. When I left corporate America in 2015, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like a complete 360.
Oh yeah. Well, and of course, there's a lot has happened in the last 10 years. So
Oh yeah,
some of that has actually pushed us further into technology than I think a lot of people were ready for at the time.
exactly.
And
No,
it's been
that's
interesting to
absolutely
see
true.
who made it and who didn't. Uh,
Right, right,
but with this too, I'm thinking about because as you went through this, and I like everything you talk about, from starting with the gut through what people are going through, and finances. Um, it is the biggest thing right now. Everybody's trying to
it
figure out
is.
how to get by, how to make things, how to survive, and then of course you've got those who are just kind of they're going to follow along. They'll go into it when they feel like everybody else is in it,
Right.
versus those who are
Yes.
headstrong. They're in first. I mean, yeah, it's hard to think you wouldn't have gotten the Bitcoin at all that for less than a buck. Um, so,
Less than a penny.
well, no, no, no. What I'm thinking, because you said like 83 cents for the whole batch,
Oh yeah, for the whole package,
the
500.
whole
Yeah,
package.
I'd
Yeah.
probably be on a beach eating bonbons right now.
Well, duh. You know, you would have, how many shares was that again you were looking at? How many Bitcoins?
500 Bitcoin, and
Yeah.
the
So at
last
one
I knew,
point,
yeah, the last I knew it was like $118,000 a coin.
yeah. So, I mean, over the years, you would have been converting those Bitcoins into cash
Right,
little by little. It's like, yeah, I got 500 shares. What? I'll just keep my 450 and turn 50 into,
right.
a few $100,000. And
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
yeah,
So
so it's all of that. And being able to understand how the system works. Because um, one of the things that we're talking about too is how do you see um, the change in the definition of what success is now? It keeps us stuck. I mean, the old definitions of success were keeping us stuck. How is that changing with what you're seeing, especially with the technology, the Bitcoin, the blockchain, and all of that? How does that
no,
change success?
yeah, that's a great question, and I think today, in my experience and what I've learned in the last 10 years, is that we have to be the CEOs of our own lives. And yeah, it's great to have an accountant, a financial planner, doctors, so forth and so on. They're the so-called experts when it came to the medical aspect of it, wanting to put me on a sixth medication. I grew up in an era where believe and trust your doctors.
Right.
And it's like, well, trust them. Well, how can I trust them when they want to put me on more medication? So believe in that. So the idea is that we need to be able to understand the underlying aspects of each of these industries that are a part of our life. My financial planner was livid when I pulled everything out of our 401ks to re-diversify it, and his response was, well, the market will come back, the market will come back. And I said, dude, I'm going to be 70 years old in a couple of years. I don't have time for the market to come back. If I had stayed there where I was, everything would probably have been gone. So it's a matter of stepping into, we talk about the boxes, and I say that when you're in a box, you're in your comfort zone.
Right.
And we need to get into that uncomfortable zone, because that's where knowledge starts to come in. That's where synergies start to formulate, and got me excited. Wow, I'm learning something new and something different, and now I'm taking control, and nobody can stop me. So, being able to have that base understanding, and then of course, when you get stuck, go to a professional and talk back and forth, but definitely question. I started asking more questions to the financial planner, to my doctors, and to my accountants, rather than just sitting back and telling me what to do in my little box.
Right.
So people have to step up and really take ownership. Is a huge part of it, from my experience.
Well, and when we talk about the comfort zone, it took me back to Sunday because that's what CJ and I talked about
Yeah,
on that show. It was the cost of comfort. There's a
right.
cost now. So I'd be curious on your take on that. What do you see as the cost of comfort? Because you look around and most people we're kind of built to look for comfort. We want that comfort, and CJ and I took that to the next level. Of like, what
Yeah.
is the cost of it, and is it worth it, or what is the cost, and how do we get past what we lose? So I'm curious about your take on that.
Yeah, no, that's a really great question, Susanna, because I felt that during my transformational journeys, if I had remained where I was, obviously I wouldn't be here today. And um, I mean, you talk about moving beyond the boxes and getting out there and doing what is your mission? What is your purpose? And I wanted to, uh, basically, in the last 5 to 7 years of my corporate career, is how can I get back to the world? What do I want when I pass away? What is my legacy going to be? What is my contribution going to be? Well, it was at that point, it was filling the pockets of corporate America. And that wasn't resonating with me. And so you really look at where do you want to be in 3 to 5 to 10 years, and what do you want to leave? And that got my mind really moving and thinking, I need to make changes. And talk about 27 to 30 years with a software engineering career with, mid six figures, leaving that, dropping it, that was scary. It was very, very scary. But it was either my health or my own mission that I needed to fulfill, because corporate America was destroying me physically, mentally, and emotionally, and financially. Because when you have a job, with all due respect, you're just over broke, and you're in a ceiling. You can't hit anything higher. So when you have more money available to you, and it's not about becoming a for some it is multimillionaire, billionaire, whatever. My whole thing was, I want more options so I can explore the world. There's so much out there for us to explore,
Yeah.
but these corrupt and broke systems are keeping us barely surviving, and we can't enjoy life because it costs money to do things, unfortunately. But that's the way the world, moves, if you will. So, but I don't believe, for me, I don't believe in comfort zones. We've got to get out of them and be uncomfortable, because that's where growth happens. And that's massive once people realize the benefits of getting into that uncomfortable zone and embracing those challenges. Have I fallen flat on my face? Many times, but I got back up and said, I'm going to push forward. And have I wanted to quit many times? Absolutely. But it is what it is. And to give up, I'll talk about one example in the medical aspect of it. When I was flipping over to holistic options, the first 2 to 3 months was pure hell for me. But what kept me going was seeing my father in his casket saying, if I don't continue, I will be another statistic like my father, with type 2 diabetes, leg amputation, heart disease from all the medications. He passed away. His sister did from the same, from type 2 diabetes, and his baby brother did. And I'm like, I don't want to be that another statistic. I want to break it.
No. And that's what we all want that, because I look at how much I was talking with CJ this morning. It's like, yeah, I got too many meds, but I know why I know what they are. I know why I need them, and most of them, they make sense, but still, it's having them and trying to figure
Right.
out
I mean,
beyond
yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely. Matt, here's the thing. I don't take away 100% from Western medicine. It has its time and place.
Right.
When I'm passing a kidney stone, give me that morphine, baby. I don't want to be going through that pain. However, the medicines that are out there mask the symptom. They don't get to the root cause, and that's what you have to do. And plants were put here for a reason. And you basically I started to, do plant-based therapies that got me off of the medications.
Right. Yeah, because for me, one of mine is, I just say, I'm on rat poison for life.
You got to get off of it.
Because
You got to
it's
get off of it. Yeah.
because I have something that, basically my blood will have a tendency to clot, so I have to keep it on a
Okay. Yep.
Well,
Yep.
it's I had like a 2 foot long blood clot in my leg, so
Wow.
it's like, yeah, I'm on
Wow.
rat poison for life. It's and I mean, I kind of joke about it. That's why I just say rat poison instead of warfarin or Coumadin or whichever version of it you get. But
Yeah. My mother was on Coumadin. I bet you there is something out there that is plant-based that would resolve that. I'm going to do some inquiries.
yeah, because it's just another one of those things that's, it's because of it too. It does affect what I can eat.
Right.
because I can't have. I mean, okay, so I never was the vegetable person anyway. That's how I grew up in the Midwest. Vegetables were peas and carrots and corn. That's vegetables. Salad for me, if you said salad, it
You
was
ran.
it was my grandmother's um, tapioca, whipped cream, and mandarin orange concoction that I make every year. Uh, and then, of course, think about because this is what I grew up with. It's having a hot dish,
Right.
which doesn't have vegetables in it. So
Yeah.
doing vegetables, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But then I have to be careful about what I have because that's the other thing you got to think about too is what medication do you have and what's going to impact it. And
Right.
this is one medication where I I can only take Tylenol. I can't take anything else.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't aspirin. I can't take ibuprofen because those are all going to counteract. They're gonna affect whatever's going on with the warfarin, and you have to get it dialed in. It can be a
Right.
process. If
Yeah.
it's oh you're low or you're high for a couple of visits, like we're gonna visit now every 2 weeks instead of four until we get you back dialed in. What are you doing differently? Are you doing something differently? Do you walk enough? So, yeah, finding other ways to do it makes a whole lot of sense. And like you said, you started with a gut too, and all of these things are going to have their own effect on the gut, one way or another.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of those do, destroy the gut lining, which is only one cell layer thick. That's the gut lining. And if you break that lining, then everything starts to seep through, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. That alone is like crazy to think about because you know that means you can't see it.
Right.
You really can't see it at all. If you were to have it sitting in front of you, you wouldn't see anything because one cell. Uh, what do you think you need a microscope to see a cell?
Exactly. No, absolutely true.
So yeah, that alone is crazy. Um, but as we go, um, as we're talking about wealth, how and I think you kind of alluded to it, but I just kind of want to go back to it. We've talked about the comfort zone. In terms of wealth, what do you see? How do you define wealth?
That's a great question. So, my mantra is about embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world. And true wealth doesn't mean money alone. True wealth is, to me, it's about having the tools and the resources that are available to you to be able to create a lifestyle to live an abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And that is true wealth to me. Because once you have your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual together, and then your finances are in good shape, finances are the number one stressor for pretty much everyone in the world. Um, you know, for the masses, I'll put it, not for the one percenters because they're living like kings and queens, but for the masses, they're working paycheck to paycheck, working multiple jobs, not getting ahead. And it's being able to find those tools that will allow them to build something of significance that they can leave as a legacy in their family. Unless if you're born into it, then of course it's a whole different story. But most people are not. The masses are not. And starting that journey. I mean, it's been a long 10 years, but I'm just very blessed and very, very fortunate that I did meet many people along the way that have, leveled me up, leveled me up, leveled me up by embracing what they had to offer, embracing um, their mission, and, incorporating that into my overall mission as well. and all for the betterment of humanity. I mean, we want to help people that are out there, and this is a platform that I'm truly blessed to be again on sharing your stage with you. But people are looking for that next thing, whatever it is for them, because it could be a plethora of things for them that will get them to the next step, because they want change, but they don't know where to get it. And this is a platform that we can share that. And once something resonates, then they're like, oh my gosh, I got to reach out. And I'll give you an example. So this project that I'm working on here it's a daily cash flow producing asset. So every day I wake up, I get that what they call tooth fairy money, in my account, and it is passive income, and it's generating right now for because since it's a new project, it's generating about $2,500 extra a month for individuals who want to diversify their portfolio. um, the company and the project is growing like exponentially. And yesterday I just heard, no, 2 days ago I had heard that the expectation in February of 2026 was $5,200 a month, by being part of this. And now that has escalated to over $6,500 a month. So there's a lot of things happening, and people are starting to really jump on board and embrace these new technologies, because that is the future. In 3 to 5 to 10 years, it will be introduced to the masses, and then they'll start coming on. Just like those who saw the vision of Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon decades ago, they saw vision and like, wow, this is new technology, and I think this is going to go somewhere, and they jumped on board. Ground floor opportunity. Look at where those companies are today. They're industry giants. Now it's the blockchain technologies that are being developed that are ground floor opportunities as well today, and it will definitely a catapult. And what's really unique about this whole paradigm shift is that there is more money to be made in the blockchain technology than there is in traditional investing, which is what I found. So, um, pretty amazing. And people say, well, what's the risk? Well, you know what? Everything you do is at a risk. You could walk
Oh
out
yeah.
the street and get hit by a bus, And my whole thing was, well, I took a risk in the traditional, you know, stock market. I lost everything. Well, pretty much everything. So it's like, okay, well, that technology is moving away. And I do want to add one more thing here, because people say, well, I need to know more about it, so forth and so on. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. You have a 401k, correct? And they said, yeah. And you're diversified among different companies, I would assume, with your financial planner. Oh, yeah, we're diversified. Do you know what those companies do? Well, no. I said, then why do you need to know what companies do on the blockchain? You'll have a basic understanding of who the company is, what kind of product and service that they have, which is why your financial planner got you introduced to that and incorporated into your portfolio. But the same thing here. Get a basic understanding of who the company is, what their mission is, and if it's a good fit for you.
Yeah. Well, and that's the basics.
Yeah,
I did that with stocks too. When I pick my stocks, I play with some that is like I let the heart run with it, and
right.
oftentimes letting the heart run with it is like it's definitely hit or miss.
Yeah,
But then there are those times when it's like, yeah, this is the way to go, and then of course looking back, going, I know I had to sell it, but damn, I wish I didn't have to sell it because
right. No, I hear you. I
having
hear you.
having shares of Apple like 20 years ago at 30 bucks a share, if could have held on to it where it would be right now, kind of deal.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this whole thing is now, I mean, I was diversified in the traditional investment arena, but these are all the projects that I've brought into my portfolio over the last 10 years. Some of them have launched, and no, I'll say this one has launched. It's doing extremely well. And Dr. CJ is on. Hi, Dr. CJ. Good
He's
to see
here.
you. And then others are still in the pipeline to become to becoming launched, if you will.
Right.
And so that's it's the same thing as, when you invest into a pre-launch company. You wait for it to launch, and then you can benefit from what stocks, shares, whatever you got invested in prior to the launch. Now that they're launched, you can benefit from that.
Yeah.
So
The one stock I really wish I hadn't sold that in 80, let's see, 83, 84, I think it was 84. I took an accounting class, and the accounting teacher, we started talking stocks, and he's like, if you want a stock recommendation, I would recommend you go after this local company called Nike. Um,
oh
and at the time it was like 14-15 bucks a share.
yeah, yeah,
Um, it's like, okay, that's the stock. It's like, if I could do one thing to go back and then
let it
just
sit.
not let it sit, just stick it someplace where I don't find it until now. That's the only way I'd want to change anything, is like figure out how to get, well, I mean, it changes everything, so I can't do it, but CJ and
Yeah,
I talk about that all the time too. It's like, yeah, we can think about going back to the past and what we changed, but no matter what we did, it's the butterfly effect, as written by
right.
Ray Bradbury in A Sound of
Yeah,
Thunder, a time travel story.
yeah,
To go back
absolutely.
and change anything is to change who you are now, and I would rather not have the money and have the people in my life that I have right now, because I'm not willing to give up my besties, my sisters, and
I
everything.
agree with you. I agree with you. I've taken a look back, and I'm like, no, we're in the present. Let's do the present to the future. The past is the past. We learned from the past, which
Yeah,
is what got us to where we are today. And that's the lesson that I look at,
yeah.
rather than being negative about it. If I would have done this 30 years ago, well, blockchain wasn't around 30 years ago. So,
There you go. CJ's got the question for you.
oh, so yeah, I mean, as far as start trading with Bitcoin, people come on board and they put in like $100 a week or a month, and you get a fraction of the Bitcoin. My cousin is doing that now. Every week he throws in $100. He's been doing it for years, and but with this project, you actually own the mine. You own the mine, you get daily residuals, and then you actually get the coin that is minted to the blockchain, airdrop to your um, external, what's called cold wallet. And this is a coin, and that is the coins are actually dropped there. And then when I want to sell it, then I move it to the exchange and do that. Um, and so, as far as the startup, Dr. CJ, you can put in $5 a month, $5 a week, $5 a day, whatever you want to put in. And it's just basically a change, and adding that coin, that fractional ownership to your wallet, if you will.
Oh, I can see her wheels turning now. Well, I mean, my wheels are turning too. So we're as we try to figure out how to do more stuff. So I think this may
Right.
be something where we're both going, let's see, how do we make this work? Okay.
Well, it's there are new opportunities that are coming, to fruition here as we move forward. And I will be very transparent. From 2022 to the end of 2024, it was very, very difficult. People didn't want to move their money. They were afraid of where the country was going to be, so forth and so on. And since January 2025, a very slow, like, for example, slower than a snail's pace, from 2022 to 2020 and to 2024. That's what that was. And today, and since 2025 started, it's been, the doors have been flooded. People want to learn because of all of the uh, acquisitions and the collaborations to bring AI into the United States, bringing more economy, opening up more jobs with this new technology that is being embraced by the current administration, because they do see that it's benefiting not only businesses, but it's also um, fitting and being very, very beneficial for the masses. And that is a true blessing in many, many ways. And I'm very excited about that for the future of people who want to jump in and just start, get your baby toe wet. Just start out small,
Right.
and and start learning from day to day to day. So that's the recommendation that I'm giving people. I have someone that helps me learn trading per weekend. Oh, good for you. You are the girl. You go girl. But yeah, anything about trading, yeah, if that's what you want to do, that's awesome. These projects over here, these are more shares in the project, in the company, and I own a ton of shares. I own NFTs, I own tokens, I own equity shares. So that's just like a centralized company. You're owning stock in the company. um, and the same thing with this here. It's just on the blockchain technology. You own a share, you own the mine. Your mind is creating that digital currency, and this is a digital currency that is being accepted in brick and mortar establishments to stimulate the economy. When somebody comes in and pays with this Texas coin, when it's $2 for a $10 purchase, and today this coin is over $5, that that shop owner just made over 50% return on allowing that person to pay with this particular coin. So this is going to have massive, massive growth within the country because it is exploding. It's gone international now, and that's what's very exciting about it, because it's a cryptocurrency that is for the people. People want more control over their money, and that
Right.
happens in the decentralized. The in the centralized, when you put money into the banks, they're taking your money and giving it out to whoever, and they're putting a high percentage that the bank earns, and you get what, less than 1% ROI. That's corrupt and broke systems.
Yeah. Well, and I'm thinking about this too because I feel like isn't I how does this work in terms of taxes? Because if I remember right, on the tax form, there's always questions about whether you've got
Right.
Bitcoin or not, and I've never had it, so it's like I've never had to think about it. But as
Exactly.
talking through all of this and thinking about, okay, how would I do it? What happens? Um, Taxes are always there, so it's on the form. How does that get impacted?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. There's a lot of uh, ruffling, if you will, with regards to taxing cryptocurrency. There's even talk about taking away capital gains on cryptocurrency because it's our money. Um, and so when people cash in and get an ROI on their crypto, they will report it and pay taxes. But if you have crypto and it's decentralized and you've made an investment and done nothing with it, you're waiting for it to grow, then you don't have to report it because you're not getting a return on it. You've invested it.
Right.
You've invested X amount of dollars into a project, a cryptocurrency project, and you're waiting for growth. And until you cash in on it, then you report it. but there's a lot of talk about this, and this could be for another show because a lot of people are keeping their money in decentralized platforms and decentralized wallets and decentralized cards.
Right.
So, and it's outside of the centralized system, and it's your money. You do what you want with it.
I think the three of us need to have this conversation. CJ's like, we need to chat more. And I'm like, yeah, let's just get the three of us together on this one.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, it's still, we're still brand new,
Right.
and it's evolving. And the controversy is that, you know, the, there's a wannabe of taking control over these companies. Example, I'm involved with, well, it was part of this company here, but it was called Debtbox, and the SEC shut them down a year and a half ago, and I was in that project. And they, a year later, it finally went to court, and the judge threw it out of court because the company did nothing wrong. The SEC shut them down for no good reason. Now the company is suing the SEC because they unlawful shutting them down.
Right.
So enrolled agents trump CPAs for taxes. I don't know what that, enrolled agents trump CPAs for taxes. So yeah, I'll have to look at that, Shannon. I know he's got a lot of stuff going on. So, but in any event, the idea is that these companies are doing everything by the book,
Mm-hmm.
and DeFi is decentralized financials, and that's, so we've got, both worlds here, and yeah, there is, and it is a good thing to have some kind of regulation on it for sure,
Right.
but control, no, no. The IRS was set up in what, in 1934, and you got the Federal Reserve. That's another story for another
Oh, yeah.
3 hour podcast. But yeah, so it's for the betterment of humanity. People, this is a platform that is allowing people to have more control, pretty much complete control over their monies in this arena, if you will, which is
Right.
very exciting.
Well, yeah, because I mean, that's one thing we really want is more control over our money and being able
Exactly, exactly,
to do what we want instead of what somebody else wants. It's another way of breaking beyond boxes.
exactly. Correct, Sharon.
Yeah,
So
and she's right. Evolution. It's a growing field, um, and it's like I'm thinking about. So now I'm thinking about that, and I keep going back to the gut thoughts too, because you said that's where you started,
right.
and the importance of that. Um, there you go. CJ's ready to get you set up on that.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, we'll talk about that, CJ. Absolutely.
Yeah, I see it. I see it happening, sis. But yeah, the I'm curious. I kind of want to go back to where you began and the gut and um, what was your approach when you started working with people and having that focus on the gut, because it's like it's what do they call it? It's the second brain or the third brain? I can't remember which.
So
Now.
the gut is the second brain, the heart
Second
is the
brain.
third brain. And really
Okay.
the gut is really the first brain, because that's where the nutrition goes into, is what you put into your mouth. It goes to the gut, and then everything from the gut goes to the heart, to the heart to the brain through the vagus nerve, and it feeds that. And it's the vagus nerve is the largest nerve system in our bodies, and that is what connects all of the processes and the organs and functions that are necessary to live an abundance and optimum wellness, with all those modalities. But Yeah, I mean, basically, what I did is I went out and started to do research online, and I actually joined the Holistic Chamber of Commerce when I was down here in Southwest Florida, because we moved down here at the end of 2017, really December 31st. So we started 2018. So between January and October, I explored and joined that Holistic Chamber of Commerce, and started to talk to more and more people from a holistic perspective. And I've got a woman who I wish I would have known her like 30 years ago, maybe 20 years, 30, 20 years ago. She was diagnosed with MS, and she reversed her MS with holistic options. My brother passed away from MS, unfortunately. And so plants are, as I said earlier, they were put here for a reason. And so during that, it was really just getting as much education that I could. And during that journey, I also wrote an ebook. I published an ebook called How to Eliminate Stress Without Our Exes. And when I in that ebook, and if people want it, reach out to me, and I'm happy. It's a free ebook. I'm happy to share it because I talk about plants and what they're supposed to be doing, and then I talk about the pharmaceuticals and what they're supposed to be doing, listing the side effects, and basically over here, no side effects, and getting the same results, getting the results on the plant side versus the pharmaceutical side. I have a nephew who was or is bipolar and manic depression, suicidal ideologies, and I came from that. I'm a survivor of childhood molestation, chemical dependency, and two suicide attempts myself. But this book really, over probably about a year putting it together, taught me about what's really out there that we can utilize, and all that has been pushed aside because of the medical system. They were discrediting holistic doctors and ancient Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicines. They were just pushing that aside, saying, no, this is the only way that you can go. Why?
Right.
So, and it's again, Susanna, it's about stepping outside of your comfort zone to get that information, because doctors are human. They're following a broken system that is teaching them about pharmaceuticals. Most doctors today, medical doctors, have maybe 8 hours of nutrition in 4 years of medical school. They're taught pharmaceuticals. When this happens, go to the green book. Oh, let's prescribe this. Getting back to my nephew, sorry. He was on 18 different medications. Well, this one's not working. Well, let's try this one. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. Really screwed him up big time.
Yeah.
Today he's doing pretty good.
Well, and that's just it with the medications and trying to figure out what you have. The more you have, the more it's like, okay, how are these interacting?
Exactly.
And I've been able to kind of play with that a little bit, to just take what I've got and it's like, okay, what of these is interacting negatively with each other?
Right.
And fortunately, most of it is fine, but we still have to deal with it. So
yeah, unfortunately, my God bless my mother, she passed away with 27 meds a day. I'm like, 27 meds? That's insane.
yeah, I know what's in my medicine cabinet, and I feel like that's enough. I mean, I got supplements too, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's all crazy. And like time flies, which it always does, because we're coming up to the end of the hour.
We are.
Yeah, it's just like zoom. But there's been so much that we've talked about here, and I love that. It's been such an encompassing conversation.
Thank you.
And I want to make sure that you get a chance to let people know how to connect with you, where to connect with you, and any last minute nuggets or comments that you want to leave before we do close it up.
Sure. No, thank you so much. The best place to catch me is on LinkedIn. I do have a YouTube channel. Just look for Jeffrey E. Berger. You'll see the bald head in all of my profiles. I am on Facebook, Instagram. I stopped TikTok because I was kicked off of it 3 times. I won't deal with it. Facebook, Instagram. I do post more on Facebook, but they've blocked me for almost 3 years when I was a holistic wellness coach, talking about plants and things like that. And we know why. But LinkedIn is the best, and my YouTube channel. I'll also put some links in the comments area
Yeah,
after this goes live
definitely.
for people to reach out. I do, you can call me on a Zoom call. Let's have a conversation. What's going on? Where do you want to go? What are you looking for? And then I do a monthly workshops to educate people on this whole paradigm shift here, just to start planting seeds for people to think about. Um, that's right, Sharon. No profit in healing. Share them the wisdom and the knowledge, and then when they're ready to, jump on board, great. And if they're not ready, great, because there's a time and place when
Mhm.
people are ready, and I'm cool with that. I don't push. That's one thing I do not do. I despise that. Um, I want to be able to become educated and not be put into a position where I have to make a decision like right away. It's like, no, 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 no. So I want your audience to know that, because I'm here to provide that. And then when they're ready, absolutely do that.
Right,
So, love to talk to people and just really get to build relationships to, really, I want them to get to know me, like me, trust me, and then they'll be comfortable. So that's my mode of operation. I want to pay it forward because I've gotten so much value from, the hounds and different, groups that I've been involved with. So I want to pay it forward with the information that they've shared with me, and what my wealth coach and life coach and Dr. Tahir Hussein has shared with me as well during this journey. So there you have it. And my nugget is, start stepping into that uncomfortable zone. If you're staying in that comfortable zone, get into the uncomfortable zone and start learning, because you will be blown away by how your life will change for the better.
right. And that's good advice right there.
Yeah.
So it was great having you on. I love this conversation.
Thank
It's
you
like
so
we
much.
need to keep going. But for now, that's where it's at. And then I will see everybody next week. CJ's on tomorrow at the same time at 9 a.m. East Pacific. I think if we ain't getting up at 9 a.m. Eastern, we might get up at 9 a.m. Eastern, but and then of course Sundays at 7 p.m. Pacific. Uh, and for Mikey is like
10
that's
p.m.
yeah, Mikey can be 10 p.m. It's like Pacific is the real time. We keep telling him that he doesn't want to believe it, but it's like sorry, that's what it is.
There you go.
All
Thank
right,
you, Susanna, Don, and thank you everybody who joined today. Really appreciate your thoughts, your comments, your questions. Very, very humbled.
I love it. Thank you everybody for being here, and I will see you next week.
See
Bye.
ya.